Engineers ain't easy to love, and they're harder to hold, especially when inspecting parts that are plated with gold. His mind is all cluttered with figures and data, and it's like he's not with you at all. And if you talk to him and want some talk back, you might as well talk to a wall. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be engineers. Don't let them plot bar graphs and blue lines and such, program computers or design a new clutch. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be engineers. He's never alone, takes his inventions home, and rarely has time for your love. Engineers love shiny chrome robots, microprocessors, little warm motors and valves and LED lights. So don't try to lure him with high heels and short low-cut dresses. If loving's not one of the projects on his schedule tonight. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be engineers. Don't let them plot bar graphs and blue lines and such, program computers or design a new clutch. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be engineers. He's never alone, takes his inventions home, and rarely has time for your love. Well, it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, Janda. It don't matter anyhow. And it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, Janda, if you don't know by now. When the rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You ain't the reason I'm traveling on. Don't think twice, it's all right. And it ain't no use in turning on your light, Dennis. That light I never know. A smile now just wouldn't look quite right, Dennis. It'd make me shudder driving down that road. Still I wish there was something you would do or say. I guess it's kinda late to get a raise in pay. You can take them broken parts and take them away. Don't think twice, it's all right. I'm heading down that long, lonesome road, car. Goodbye is too good a word, Carl, so I'll just say go to hell. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. Looking through that microscope's got me half blind. I've stared at them opera couplers my last time, so don't think twice, it's all it ain't no use in calling out my name, Rich, like so many times before. Don't leave a note, then run and hide, you son of a bitch. I won't cuss you out anymore. I'm a-thinking and a-wondering all the way down the road. I once loved to come to work, but now it's getting old. Someone's out there waiting who wants my heart and my soul. Don't think twice, it's all right. Don't think twice, it's all right. It was just a few years ago at a bar called the Old Pro when Dan first bought him a drink and made him an offer to come work on couplers. And Dan asked him, "What do you think?" Dan's hands were shaking from the time he was taking, but finally Steve nodded his head. From that moment onward, all progress was forward, and problems were soon put to bed. First with the plastics, he did some gymnastics, and the yield shot right through the roof. He went on to do tricks with lamps and hermetics, and rarely did Steve ever goof. One day with Bill Make It, he said, "Let's just fake it. So what if the data don't fit?" The effort it saved us meant less costs and less fuss and more bottom line stuff called profit. He picked a fine time to leave us, Steve Ching, with 100 big problems and the headaches they bring. We've had some good times, saved Dan a few dimes. Looks like now couplers are king. You picked a fine time to leave us, Steve Ching. At first things were ghastly, but he worked so fast we finally had time for some fun. If it wasn't a ski trip, a ball game or a picnic, it was lilacs for rice and wonton. One day Schnurr was taking turns with Merrick, trying to wake up Burns, while Schnocky buried Kathy with jobs. When Steve stated feistily, "I'm increasing the Ching dynasty by working with the Monsanto snobs," you picked a fine time to leave us, Steve Ching, with 100 big problems and the headaches they bring. We've had some good times, saved Dan a few dimes, and it looks like now couplers are king. You picked a fine time to leave us, Steve Ching. You picked a fine time to leave us, Steve Ching. Start spreading manure, begin baling the hay. It's back to college life again in old Fresno. These shit-kicking shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. Fresno, Fresno. I wanna wake up in a new house that won't cost a ton, where raisins grow in July, then dry in the sun. These big city blues are melting away.
It sure gets warm outside here.
I'm gonna be a part of it in hot Fresno. And when my schedule's free.
I'll get a
law degree, all thanks to you, Fresno, Fresno. Let's go to Fresno. I want to wake up where my eyes are not gonna sting, where country roads are all clear, mile after mile. Now I can sing my song for a while. No more Desi blues. Take them audits away. I'll march out on my own again in old Fresno, 'cause that's where it's more my style. Just remember me and smile. I'll make it there. Fresno, Fresno. Fresno. Don't look so sad. I know it's over, but life goes on, and this whole world, it keeps on turning. Let's just be glad we had some time to spend together. There's no need to watch the bridges that we're burning. Lay your hands on your selectric. Type another perfect memo I can sign. Oh, I know that you've been busy. Those engineers, they make you dizzy. But won't you crack a joke just one more time? For the good times, I'll get along and find another. But I'll be here if you should find you ever need me. Don't say a word about tomorrow or forever. There'll be time enough for sadness when you leave me. Lay your hands on your selectric. Type another perfect memo I can sign. Oh, I know that you've been busy. Just sorting mail can cause a tizzy. But won't you smile for me just one more time? For the good times. January to December, we'll have moments to remember. The Halloweens we dressed like clowns, the Christmas dances with live band sounds. We will have these moments to remember.
these moments to remember. We worked each day so quickly and did our job so well. When Fridays finally came around, we had tons of parts to sell. The Lockheed hybrid we fixed on time, the stack of SRFs to climb. We will have these moments to remember. Jim Chrysler had his empire, Linda, George, and Al. I sometimes stop to sneak a peek at Al's latest poster gal. Though hassles come with each new day, we dust ourselves off and then we say, we will have these moments to remember. We will have these moments to remember.
Many fails can accrue. It can happen to you with a defective part. Fiber cables may bend and can break at the end and can break your heart. And when few of them work due to lousy design, Walt predicted it first with his log normal line. But R&D will justify release some way, and life gets more exciting with each passing day. If the light doesn't shrink and the link doesn't stink, he feels young at heart. Because Walt took a stand with a plan in his hand and a Lotus chart. And if the parts should survive, there might only be 5. Even George leaves his hive and is glad he's alive. And here is the best part, you have a head start when Walter's thoughts and viable plots are in your heart. If the parts should survive, there might only be 5. Even George leaves his hive and is glad he's alive. And here is the best part, you have a head start when Walter's thoughts and viable plots are in your heart.
Donna, we had a girl, Donna was her name. Since she left us, we've never been the same. We miss our girl, Donna, where can she be? Where can she be? Since she left us, we we are so understaffed. Why, oh why, do we feel we got the shaft? We miss our Donna. Donna, where can she be? Donna, now that she's gone, it seems we've lost what we need. Oh, and we miss her legendary speed. We had a girl of highest principle. She'd tell it to all. This life's critical, yes, it's critical. And we miss our Donna. Hope she enjoys being free. Donna, off on her own to pursue all her dreams. If we lose more like her, there'll be screams. We had a girl, Donna was her name. Since she left us, we've never been the same. And we miss our Donna. Donna, where can she be? Oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna. Donna, oh.
I grew up dreaming of being a golfer and walking those narrow fairways, pursuing the life of my hard-driving heroes. I hacked out my younger days. I learned all the rules. I worked with tools and practiced so long. I studied the forces and played all the courses till my irons and my short game were strong. My heroes have always been golfers. They still are, it seems. I'm hoping that Hogan and Arnie and Nicholas will teach me the game of my dreams. Golfers are special, with their own brand of misery from frustrations lasting too long. They could die from a choke on a 2-foot-long par putt or a sand shot connecting all wrong. Oh, that golf hole is waiting. It's seductively waiting for those little round dimpled white balls. And as sure as you're born and your clothes are too worn, it's great when that birdie putt falls. My heroes have always been golfers. They still are, it seems. I'm hoping that Hogan and Arnie and Nicholas will teach me the game of my dreams. That Sam Snead and Player, Trevino and Watson will teach me the game of my dreams.
The faucet, it is dripping and the fence is falling down. My pocket needs some money so I can't go into town. My daughters just play hooky and my wife, she just don't care. The car, it needs a motor so I can't go anywhere. Manana, manana, manana is soon enough for me. My wife is always working, she's working very hard. But every time she looks for me, I'm sleeping in the yard. My wife, she thinks I'm lazy, and maybe she is right. I'll go to work tomorrow, but I gotta sleep tonight. Manana, manana, manana is soon enough for me. The window, it is broken and the rain is falling in. If someone doesn't fix it, I'll be soaking to the skin. But if I wait another day, the rain may go away, and we don't need a window on such a sunny day. Manana, manana, manana is soon enough for me. Hey, manana, manana, manana is soon enough for me.
After his Saturday run, Larry takes a bath with his favorite toy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Vovodio, rubber ducky, joy of joys. When I squeeze you, you make noise. Rubber ducky, you're my very best friend, it's true. Oh, every day when I make my way to my tubby, I find a little fella who's cute and yellow and chubby. Rub-a-dub-dubby, a rubber ducky, you're so fine, and I'm lucky that you're mine. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of. Rubber ducky, I like a whole pond of. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Quack.
When Dick Moss decided he wanted Larry to work for him, this is what he said.
I bless the day I found you. I built my plans around you, and so I beg you, let it be me. Don't hesitate a minute. Deep shit, I'm really in it. If you don't help out, so let it be me. Electrostatic discharge is tragic. Basement to attic, control it please. Don't leave us always arcing, and we got lots of parking up here at corporate. Let it be me. So bring your gym stuff with you. I'll run at lunchtime if you just say you'll always let it be. Just say you'll always let it be me.
It was rugged and compact and easy to read, with a 12-digit display and a new enter key. Oh, it helped me get started, it helped me survive, a young engineer with my new 35. An American idea, a new HP tool, more than a fad, it sunk the slide rule. How my anxious hands trembled the day it arrived, then I put it to work, my HP 35. Somewhere in a box in the attic it lies, with old baseball hats, belt buckles and ties. But if displays could glow from desire, I know my old trusty friend would still be making me dough. It didn't hog your whole desktop, it fit in your pocket, they'd steal it at night. If you forgot to lock it, there was no problem too hard or too big in size for a 2-hour recharge and my old 35. Somewhere in a box in the attic it lies, with old baseball hats, belt buckles and ties. But if displays could glow from desire, I know my old trusty friend would still be making me dough. Take a look at me now with my new 15C. It's sleek and it's fast and has continuous memory. Still I think of my first one with tears in my eyes. Oh, I wish I was holding my old 35. Yes, it really was something, my old 35. I'm just one engineer, and people, it's a fact. The reason for my bloodshot eyes is a sleep that I lack. And it looks like I may never release my soft potted quads. I baked those couplers hot as hell to see if they would leak. And over my shoulder was Gary LaBelle with his tongue in his cheek. And it looks like I may never release my soft potted quads. My boss, he called a meeting, he was angry and crude. I'll give you just 2 guesses who it was that got screwed. And he hollered, you better release those soft potted quads. I tried so many chemicals and fixed 100 grooves. Tomorrow I might try silicone and shoe polish mixed with and it looks like I may never release my soft potted quartz. But lately I can relax and get back to dusty old projects that had fallen into cracks. And it looks like I finally released my soft potted quartz. Yes, it looks like I finally released my soft potted quartz.
Hey, here's a little song I wrote. I stole it from the radio, note for note. Don't worry, be happy. When everything seems to just go wrong, it's no use to scream, just sing this song. Don't worry, be happy now. You come in Monday, they bring more trouble. Friday come around, your work is double. Don't worry, be happy. Just be loose, don't feel too gross. Take a cruise to someplace not close. Don't worry, be happy. La 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 la. Don't worry. La 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 la. Be happy. La 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 la. You know, Daddy Boss getting really strange. Maybe it's time to make a change. Don't worry. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Be happy. Do do. Don't read on books, don't run and hide. Just take a look in the classified. Don't worry, be happy. Do, do, do. Ooh, don't worry, ooh, be happy. Don't worry, ooh, be happy. La 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 la. Don't worry, la 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 la. Be happy, la 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 la.
Oh, the Simtex simply won't behave this morning. You might hear a lady shout without no warning. Caramba, testing is no thrill. I figure the Fairchild is my dilemma, and the totals don't add up to what's expected, 'cause the handler eats the parts that aren't rejected. Show me the road to Roseville, and we sing Vaya con Dios, Emma. Wherever you may go, our prayers go with you. May luck be with you each and every day. We'll miss your stizzy style and sunny smile too. Say bye to all those dizzy hours and oh, that lousy pay. So if San Jose is down and eyes are weeping, in a Sacramento town their hearts are leaping. Vaya con Dios en Roseville, vaya con Dios en paz, vaya con Dios en Roseville, vaya con Dios en paz.
A few months ago, Hans Nielsen, our trumpet player, mentioned what a great singing voice Emma had. Well, I was curious, so I got a chance to record her singing in Spanish. We actually recorded 3 or 4 songs to give to her father, and it was great. In fact, I want her to sing right now. Emma, come up here and I'll strum the same song. Yeah, encourage her, this song. Stand here. Good.
Se llegó el momento ya de separarnos. Se adivina en tu mirar cuando me miras. Vaya con Dios mi vida. Vaya con Dios mi amor. Las campanas de la iglesia lloran triste y parece que al sonar también nos dice: vaya con Dios mi vida, vaya con Dios mi amor. A donde vayas tú yo iré contigo, mi sueño siempre junto a ti estará. Mi voz escucharás, dulce amor mío. Pensando siempre en ti estaré hasta volverte a ver. Las campanas de la iglesia lloran triste y parece que al sonar también nos dice: vaya con Dios mi vida, vaya con Dios mi amor, vaya con Dios mi vida, vaya con Dios mi amor.
I got the Boeing blues, I got no heart to cry. I got the Boeing blues, I got no heart to cry. If the blues don't kill me, I guess I'll never die. Oh, the wire bonds break and the diode leaks, I said. Yes, the wire bond breaks and the diode leaks, I said. Well, you should have seen Ned Hawley's face turn red. The die are scratched and the light pipes are way too soft. Sometimes the die gets scratched and the light pipes are way too soft. Oh, when we try to etch them, the oxide won't come off. I had a dream last night when I rolled back in my bed. Had a dream last night when I rolled back in my bed. What did you dream, boy? That Viora and Maxwell both hit me over the head. Oh well, I get so frazzled that I don't have time to think. Sometimes I get so frazzled that I don't have time to think. But hey, it's Friday afternoon and I sure have time to drink. Oh, the marketing folks are so happy that they drew, while counting their money and buying more diamonds and jewels. But the workers on the line are about to lose their cool when that shuttle takes off and flies out into space. When that shuttle takes off and flies out into space. Well, I hope to hell that it won't fly over my place. Well, Boeing just said that there's one more flaming hoop. Their leader just dealt us another hot flaming hoop. So if you mention Seattle, I'll knock you for a loop. I got the Boeing blues, I got no heart to cry. I got the Boeing blues, I got no heart to cry. If the blues don't kill me, I guess I'll never die.
Nothing could be finer than to work by Carolina in the morning. Ha! Tara might be trouble if she wakes up seeing double in the dawning. Oh yeah! Mary H., Terry Madruga, and Michaela are never a bore, whispering lots of stories about the folks on the upper floor. There ain't a smile quicker than the one on Gingerica in the morning. Hi, Ginger, and PRTs just flutter by like great big golden butterflies at dawning. Amazing, but if I had Aladdin's lamp for only a day, I'd wish to hell to just get away, so I could stop my whining about my work by Carolina in the morning. It can sure get to ya how the customers would like to sue ya, so I'm hollering hallelujah on the way out the old back door. There ain't a smile quicker than the one on Gingerica in the morning, and PRTs just flutter by like great big golden butterflies at dawning. But if I had Aladdin's lamp for only a day, I'd wish to hell to just get away, so I could stop my whining about my work by Carolina in the morning.
So, we are here to send Cassandra back to SCO after a year of production engineering on the hermetic line to take these stringent military requirements back to Singapore. Cass, Ted, and I learned the new quality system requirements of Appendix A of the mill standard, and there were quite a few flaming hoops in it, which will be completely new to Singapore's high-volume ethic. While here, she upgraded San Jose's procedure, where she corrected some of the things that she said were out of whack. And she has a lot of friends now here who respect her tough-talking ways and her straightforward, pragmatic style. In fact, now she's finding it not so easy to leave the people here.
Leaving ain't so easy, I'll miss this good old place. I miss your bright good mornings, and I'll miss your smiling faces. I'll miss the things we shared to make 1,000 memories. But one thing I won't miss at all is your hamburgers and cheese. I'm moving on, I'm leaving, see you around. With any luck at all, I'll land on solid ground. It's time to go and grow with no time to frown. I'm moving on, I'm leaving, see you around. And leaving ain't so easy. I'll miss Ted's curly hair. I'll miss Rolf's fun and daily run and Paul's jokes here and there. I'll miss Suquan and all he wants and those charming chats with Ray. But one thing I won't miss at all is the goddamn appendix A. I'm moving on, I'm leaving, see you around. With any luck at all, I'll land on solid ground. It's time to go and grow with no time to frown. I'm moving on, I'm leaving, see you around. I'm moving on, I'm leaving, see you around. With any luck at all, I'll land on solid ground. It's time to go and grow with no time to frown. I'm moving on, I'm leaving, see you around.
Hi, Cass. Hi, Lucas. You know, I still remember the first day Cass showed up at Building 9. Rolf had to go out and show her in. They started walking down the hallway and saw Dick Chang's office, Pelican Room, and the Crow's Nest, and the spotless desk where Rick Ness sits. And Cass started hearing this strange noise she never heard before. Something like, ah. Rolf just kept walking down the hallway showing her around. There's the quality department over there and then the Xerox machine. And the noise, it kept getting louder. What is that noise? And Rolf said, well, don't you know that's the sound of the folks working on the chain gang? Well, don't you know that's the sound of the folks working on the chain gang? All day long they work so hard till the sun is going down, working on hermetics and plastics and wearing a frown. You hear them moaning their lives away, and then you hear somebody say, that's the sound of the folks working on the chain gang. Well, don't you know that's the sound of the folks working on the chain gang?
And now she's heading back, which is a little sad for us. I was there last year, and I know it's a great group there at SCO. They'll be able to handle the new requirements she takes back with her with no sweat, I'm sure. A 1, 2, 3.
La 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 la. La, 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 la. I know a great company is part of Worldwide HP. We spell it SEO. And if you need quality and you don't get TQC, hey man, you better see ho. And if you want to get a job done and get it done right, give it all to Yap Them Watt and sleep good at night. They're hard-working girls and guys. They're under tropical skies. Our components they know. They are the best around that you can plainly see. They're led by Kobun, Hui, and Tan Piani. Performance supreme. They are a quality team. We spell it S-E-O. La 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 la. And if you give to them a project, it's right the first time. Plan and do and check and act, it helps the bottom line. So if you travel offshore and you visit Singapore, you taxi out to Deporo, you find them friendly and warm, and they treat you nice. They feed you squid, fish, head, and chicken and rice, and top with a spot of tea and cream. They're like the British, it seems. We spell it S-E-O. La 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 la. They are a quality team. I think you know what I mean. That's right, we spell it S-E-O. Yeah.
Well, 5'2", eyes of blue, but oh, what those 5 foot could do. Has anybody seen my gal? Turned up nose, turned down hose, never had no other beaux. Has anybody seen my gal? If you should run into a 5'2", all covered with fur, diamond rings and all those things, bet your life it isn't her. But could she love? Could she woo? Ooh, could she coo? Has anybody seen my gal?
On a warm summer's evening, coming out of nowhere, a stranger came a-callin'. He was looking for a job. Jim Chrysler did a double take, moved closer and he squinted, and he chuckled as he hinted he wasn't looking for no slop. Well, the stranger was a rounder, 130-pounder. Jim couldn't make him flounder. Darrell made it through the quiz. He said that Jim's decision might save the division. So when Darrell won the coin toss, Jim said the job was his. While coming up to speed, Darrell showed us he knew how to lead. Still gambling like at Lockheed, telling joke for a little spice. Time came one day to hire a new gal to quench a fire. Jim took them both aside and said, I'll give you some advice. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. One day he turned a marketeer, no more a high rail engineer. Drink champagne instead of beer and work for Pete Memo. Too soon he asked Pete for a raise. You can't pay rent with verbal praise. Pete said you have to go a ways before rolling in the dough. First learn to stop your yapping and when to start backslapping. know when to laugh it off and who the joke is on. We can't sell our things in bunches without taking them to lunches. We gotta wine and dine our customers, or soon they will be gone. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Though he liked the selling process, what Darryl liked to do best was take a deck of cards and deal them out and play for an hour or two. He mixed real estate advising with the art of advertising, and though mortgage rates are rising, he might sell a house to you. One day he said that it was time to move to Healdsburg, grow some wine, and be with family doing fine. 'Twas crazy not to go, because instead of psychoanalysis or waiting for dialysis, he did the games of chance analysis that he learned at Lake Tahoe. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. So we are honoring Yoko Giddings today for her many years of service at HP. Back when I worked in Building 11 Lower, she worked in the next department over for Helen Weeks. Apparently she gave Yoko plenty to do, because I would often hear her saying,
Oh, Helen, oh, hell, you drive us berserk. Oh, Helen, work, 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 work. You have us jump through flaming hoops. And though you make us get a lot done, it feels like an endless loop. And oh, Helen, please tell me true. What keeps you moving so? Someday I just wanna rest from this whole blasted mess. But you just go, Helen, go, Helen, go. Oh, Helen, how you can work. Oh, Helen, that's just your quirk. You have us jump through flaming hoops. And though you make us get a lot done, got no time to take a bleep. And oh, Helen, please tell me true. What keeps you moving so? Someday I just wanna rest from this whole blasted mess. But you just go, Helen, go, Helen, go. Sometime or other in our careers, we all have concerns about the pay we're getting. Yoko was no exception. One time she even went as high as functional manager to plead her case. It was Norm Tarowski, kind of a smooth-talking guy, and his answer went something like this. Bo, I can't give you anything but squat, Yoko. That's the only thing I've got a lot of Yoko. But you can dream a while, scream a while, do what you want. But I advise, if you're wise, don't go out to any fancy restaurant. Gee, I'd like to see you looking swell, Yoko. But diamond bracelets, thrift shops just don't sell, Yoko. Yes, with your yucky pay, we know darn well, Yoko, I can't give you anything but squat,
Later, Yoko heard rumors that Dennis Kloss would be her new boss. Talking with others at lunch, she wondered out loud, would he be a good boss or a bad one? Most of them shrugged and didn't know, but one of them said he was a tough guy, so surely he wouldn't be easy, and probably pretty bad. So his legend grew.
Here we go now. Out on the south side of the South Bay, don't you ever get your lost. 'Cause if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named D.K. Kloss. Now D.K., more than trouble. You stand about 6'3". All the downtown gents, if they have decent, they know to leave old D.K. be. And he's a bad D.K. Kloss, the baddest man to have to call the boss. Badder than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. And now D.K., he no rambler, but he like his fancy clothes. And he like to wave them broken opto cuppers in front of everybody's nose. He got a costly custom pool. He got a great big pickup too. He got the family life. He got a lovely wife. He got a steel toe on his shoe. And he's a bad D.K. Kloss, the baddest man to have to call the boss. Badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. Well, Friday, about a week ago, Singapore phoned again, and at his desk was a production guest. There she was, young E. Montaigne. Well, he cast his eyes upon her, and he filled her head with facts. But man, you should have seen when she disagreed, 'cause it was trouble to the max. And he's a bad D.K. Kloss, the baddest man to have to call the boss. Badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. Oh well, the two of them took to fighting, and when they pulled them from the floor, they both looked like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple of pieces gone. And he's a bad D.K. Kloss, the baddest man to have to call the boss. Badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. And he's a bad D.K. Kloss, the baddest man to have to call the boss. Badder than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog.
After working for Dennis, she told the other operators at lunch they were wrong about DK. He wasn't so bad after all. In fact,
know him is to love him. Just to see him smile makes my life worthwhile. To know him is to love him. And I do.
A month ago, Yoko wanted to tell Dennis that she wanted to retire and do some traveling with her husband Clarence. And so she told him,
Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long. Winter's almost gone, yet summer's coming on. Done laid around, done stayed around this old town too long. And I feel like I gotta travel on. And I feel
like I gotta travel on.
And Dennis was so surprised, he said,
Oh, well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I'm itching like a man on a fuzzy tree, 'cause what you say has me acting wild as a bug, because I'm all shook up. Ooh, yay, yay, yay. Oh, well, my hands are shaking and my knees are weak. I can't seem to stand on my own 2 feet. Who do you think of when you have such luck? Because I'm all shook up. Ooh, yay, yay, yay. Ooh, ooh, yay, yay. I'm all shook up.
one time Yoko took me aside and said she'd miss us all, but especially her buddy Emily Libunau, who she worked alongside of for years.
Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along, singing a song side by side. I don't know what's coming tomorrow. Might have to beg, steal, or borrow, but we'll travel the road, sharing our load side by side. Through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? Just as long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all. When they've all had their quarrels and parted, we'll be the same as we started, just traveling along, singing a song side by side. Through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? Just as long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all. When they've all had their quarrels and parted, we'll be the same as we started, just traveling along, singing a song side by side. Traveling along, singing a song side by side.
So Dennis begged her to stay just for another 6 months, but she said no.
I left my heart in Palo Alto, next to the hills. It calls to me to be where new Mercedes cars drive halfway to the stars. A chauffeur drives me everywhere. It's just Clarence waits there in Palo Alto, near Stanford's farm, by Windy Bay. When I come home to you, Palo Alto, your golden sun will shine all day.
So I really enjoyed working with Tiny Yoko and having her get my parts up on burn and tested so well. She's been a hard worker, got a lot done. I guess all that's left to say is sayonara, Yoko-san.
Hi, hiya, Tiny Yoko.
When young you come from Tokyo, bringing with you heart pure as rice, warm, soft and nice, cross Pacific span, long, long way from here, Japan, Yoko, USA, your new land. Then you find husband, have some fun, make a boy, and you play in sun that no cloud can destroy. Hi, hi, you tiny Yoko, our gain is lost for Tokyo, giving us your best, nothing less, spreading happiness, doing what you can, doing things in a way of Japan. Thank you for giving us a hand. So you have some fun, find husband, make a boy, and you play in sun that no cloud can destroy. Sayonara, tiny Yoko, it's time for more fun, Yoko. Maybe stay at nest, maybe rest, enjoy happiness. We'll do what we can to look at things through our eyes of Japan, Yoko. We think it work out grand. Everyone whistle. Yoko, oh, oh, it worked out grand.
Was in the spring, one rainy day, when Mike Dix left us, oh, he went away. Now that he's gone, I'm just so worried, and he's out there sitting on top of the world. He called me up, said he got a new car. How are things going, Rich? I'm getting drunk at the bar, Mike, 'cause now you're gone, and I'm so buried. And you're out there sitting on top of the world. When they holler catch, I often drop the ball. When I stand to stretch, I look at Big Brent Wall, and he wants to talk, but I want to scurry. Wish I were sitting on top of the world. I need a clue. What's an arbitrated loop? They've got me jumping through arbitrary hoops. I can't talk now, I'm far too hurried, and he's out there sitting on top of the world. 'Twas in the spring, in the month of May, John Dunzig grinned, who can I bug today? And the troubles blow in like a winter flurry, and Mike's out there sitting on top of the world.
City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you hear silver bells, silver bells, silver Silver bells,
silver bells.
it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling,
Ring-a-ling,
hear them ring.
hear them ring.
Soon it will be Christmas Day. Streets of street lights, even stoplights, blink a bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. This is Santa's big scene, and above all this bustle you hear silver bells, silver bells,
silver bells.
it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling,
Ring-a-ling,
hear them ring.
hear them ring.
Soon it will be Christmas Day. And now we'd like to present Irving Berlin's White Christmas. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
When you wish upon a star, you'll find things stay as they are. Money doesn't grow on trees, I swear that's true. If you want to reach your dream, come on in and join the team. Learn your customers and competition too. You better bust your butt, make phone calls every day, and very soon you'll find they start paying. If like a dope you sit and stew, well, your accounts will be damn few, 'cause only wishing on a star's what crickets do.
in the world by far, that's where we're aiming. So have a mansion on a hill, but it won't come by gosh until HP's bright and shining star is you.
Ginger Ripka is finally retiring from Agilent, and she's so glad she doesn't have to work anymore. I'm in no mood for work. Agilent perks are a real myth. Can't take the jerks I deal with. I'm in no mood for work. Guess it's no big surprise. My blood pressure's always rising. That's why I'm emphasizing I'm in the mood for work. No need to think of weather. I'm working lightning fast. Ned, you can't focus forever. And am I accountable? Kiss my ass. Hope you enjoy next year. Pushing that grindstone near you. Don't focus, I can't hear you. I'm in the work. Look at the sunny weather. My troubles are in the past. My heart's lighter than a feather. Tell everyone I'm free at last. I hope you all succeed. My portfolio really needs you. So buy all that crap they feed you. But I'm in no mood. I'm in no mood. I'm in no mood for work. I got the blues, those HB blues. I got the blues, those HB blues. With last week's pay, I bought new shoes. I start my day with a big donut, and my choice today was a glazed donut. That's how I got this great big gut. I train the folks out on the line. I educate them all the time. So parts they build all turn out fine. I got this job to use my brain. I surely thought I'd use my brain, but now I see that's all in vain. These people here, they treat me fine. These people here, they treat me fine. They give me beer at the old pro sign. My doctor said I work too hard. That doctor said I work too hard. My boss, he said I might get fired. Sometimes I dream I'm feeling swell, and in that dream I dream so well. I tell my boss, just go to hell. I got the blues, those HB blues. I got the blues, those HB blues. I bought a shirt this time, don't need more shoes.
You should see what we can do down at Zettler Zoo. We advertise a big surprise down at Zettler Zoo. In the Silicon Valley under California sun, we do a lot of work but have a lot of fun. For every day there's something new down at Zettler Zoo. We have colored lamps for you down at Zettler Zoo. And our displays, they will amaze you down at Zettler Zoo. We have a yellow sand and a fiber optic link, high-speed couplers, and what do you think? We have wands and shaft encoders too down at Zettler Zoo. In Silicon Valley under California sun, we do a lot of work but have a lot of fun. Where every day there's something new down at Zettler Zoo. And we do it right down at Zettler Zoo.
Hello, my name is Richard Burns, and I sometimes play folk music. And I play country songs at home, strumming the rhythm part. Enjoyed following the top 20 pop hits, and I memorized a lot of the #1 hits that come along, kind of a song buff. I've tried to write songs too. I'm a poet. I published a poetry book. I've tried to get some songs taken up by Nashville, which didn't happen, but I tried. And I'm an engineer, a graduate from UCSB. Then I went into the Air Force. And then I work at Hewlett-Packard from 1973 to 2002. The last couple of years we were called Agilent Technologies, but it was essentially the same job and the same people around me. I'm an engineer. I worked 29 years in HP in semiconductor, optoelectronics, and quality and reliability of components. It's a big company, 65,000 people worldwide at the time, but every year a few people would retire, so I had reason to go to quite a few retirement lunches. And to try to make them more interesting, I made up little songs, parody songs, based on country songs or old hit songs that I liked. Back in 1978, my boss at the time moved upstairs to personnel, and we had a going away luncheon in production where he's from. Off to the side, I wrote a little humorous poem, and I stood up in the middle of the luncheon, uninvited more or less. It was a time for speeches and stuff by other people. I read off this poem I had written on a sheet of paper, and they all laughed where I wanted them to laugh. There's a few funny places salted throughout the thing, and it came out really good. And I thought it was killer, and it was. In fact, it got published in the Solid Stater, the Division P newspaper. One of my earliest ones was "You Picked a Fine Time to Leave Us, Steve Ching," using Kenny Rogers' hit song Lucille. sending away a secretary. One time I sang, "Please release me, let me go." That's a perfect song for going away. Happy Trails is a typical example. One I have here is called My Old 35, which is the HP 35 scientific calculator. It was the first really whole lot of functions kind of calculator. Very small LED lights, but all on one piece of chip. So they're very close together. They're very small. That saved real estate in the gallium arsenide phosphide. Portable, and you could run it with a battery. That was good. Basically, it was doing cosines and arctangents and square roots and cube roots and any kind of n root of anything, any kind of n power, logarithms, had everything. Remember we used to have slide rules? We don't have them anymore. Why? HP 35. And most of these, at least various lunches through the years, came out as hits. People really laughed. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm a frustrated comedian, but also an engineer. I went to a contest once at HP up on the hill. Mamas don't let your babies grow up to be engineers. And that came out pretty good. I was really nervous before that. I have 3 sheets, 51. I probably have forgotten some and I didn't write them all down. I wrote those down after the fact. Take this job and shove it. That worked. There was 1 or 2 that was basically they weren't excited about whatever it was. The comedian knows about a dead audience and that kind of thing. Most of the time these were on the mark. They had some words that brought out something about the personality or the boss or the situation or the next boss, which is possible. And they always seemed to like it. I got the test technicians to come in on the chorus of a little song I wrote entitled Zettler's Zoo. Our division manager was Bob Zettler, to the tune of Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant, a great ragtime tune I had learned on guitar. Zettler's Zoo, by the way, is also in one of those newspapers. None of these were recorded live as I did it. I wish we had a video. But if I had a video, I would have got nervous and it probably would have been worse and there would have been setup problems and all kinds of things. What I usually did was went back home, and if it was a hit or people seemed to like it, I would record it at home. Now, I'm a shy person, so it's important that I have the option to not do it. When I sit down at lunch and I look around, is it going to work or not? Sometimes I don't do it, you know. I usually kept my guitar in the trunk of my car and snuck out there just before doing the song, so no one would know that I had something prepared. I can keep it a surprise, and then I had the option to not do it. I'm just eating lunch. But usually when I did go to the trouble of writing the song and preparing and practicing, no matter how nervous I got, I would try to force myself to do it. A couple times I chickened out, and then I went home and I said to myself, I should have done that. I really should have done that. This is sort of like speech class. You know how people say the biggest fear they have is speaking in front of a group? I'm trying to fix that. I'm petrified in front of groups. Luncheons can be like forced conversation. There are 1 or 2 who really talk well. You listen and you try to participate. And but if you have nothing to say, or it's a bigger manager who's hogging the conversation, and you just wind up appearing to be just listening, slap on the back, conversational, having a lot of things to share about your travels. I wasn't like that. But in a technology company like HP, it's also important to include some scientific people. So I'm shy and I don't talk very much in that kind of situation, but I want to participate. I want to be seen as a participant. So what can I do? I play guitar. I know a few folk songs and country songs. I practice at home. So I thought that would make some of these luncheons more exciting and a little more bearable for me. A song is prepared. I know exactly every word, and I rehearse it at home. Usually it's a week of preparation. Some of it is thinking, okay, what song could work? When you're a songwriter like I am, you can dredge up a lot of stuff. #1 hits and country hits over the years. What's a good song? Which people's names to use, and make up the situations. Usually it's something I can guess at or know about at work. Walter's Thoughts and Why Will Plots Are in Your Heart, which was to Young and Heart, a Sinatra hit. Walter Heinzer gave me a note in his own handwriting, and this is before we use computers as much as we do. But anyways, he gave me a nice note saying, I missed my calling. It was heartfelt, like my song was heartfelt for him. I actually played it on the tape recording. I brought in a boombox that day, but I had recorded it at low speed. So it wound up at a very high pitch, and it sounded like the Chipmunks, Alvin and Theodore. Donna Patterson I have here, Donna. I sang Oh Donna, and that's an old favorite song I used to know by Richie Valens. And I made up a few words pretty much in that same sentimental, I love you kind of point of view. She loved it, her mother did too, and they were both in tears at the end, But, it wasn't because it was bad. There was a Chinese lady, Cassandra Lee, who had come to the Hermetic line to learn the mill standard. The Hermetic line was military standard products, unlike what they had in Singapore. She was here actually for 2 years, and she was a tough young lady, I think Chinese, Cassandra Lee. So we had a going away party for her, and I had 3 songs. My best ones were I'll See You Around. That's on this tape. And we spell it SCO, which is sort of a tribute to the Singapore Competence Operation, SCO. And I think it's really good. It has all these slogans of quality that we used to have internally in the company to try to improve the quality of our engineering and the motivation, but also the quality of the parts. One of the songs cussed out a certain regulatory military standard, the Appendix A requirements, and I mentioned it with explicit cussing. People exploded. It was laughter. It was great. When you tell a joke and you feel it explode, you know that the joke landed, and a lot of them really did land. I guess that's why I'm making this tape. I want to show that the effort was legitimate in a way. I want someone to witness why it's legitimate, and now I need to convince you that I'm also an engineer. I do some goofy things, but I also do some good work. I'm kind of quiet and shy, pretty serious at work. I'm busy doing my job, doing tables for reports on reliability and quality, pushing management to do the right thing when they want to do the cheap thing, looking at the failures and why are they failing, and doing the training of the operators on the line. I went to HP Singapore to train their operators when our whole product line went over for more high volume. I trained the operators on the visual of the LEDs and the integrated circuits in our detectors, complex stuff in the mill standard, quality control charts. I set up a whole training program where the operators had to pass a written test to become, quote, certified. And, engineers work to make the processes under control, or improve control. Sometimes our processes aren't perfect. We're also busy cutting costs and how fast it gets through the line. But I don't know if I got this across, but during performance, I was nervous. And I would run out of the room and my heart would be beating like this. And one time it came out so good, I had to run to the hospital. Bill Olds retired, and he had been forever in our divisions. We gave him a nice send-off, and the division manager was even there. Other people had worked with him over the years, 40 people, on that order, and a very good catered lunch at one of the HP larger rooms. I can remember the table sort of, and how nervous I was drinking my coffee beforehand. 2 songs, I can't remember what the first song is, and it's not here. That's one that's forgotten. Moments to Remember was my big show piece, which a very sentimental song if you remember. It worked. They loved it. My heart started fibrillation, and I had never had that before. And it scared me to death. And when I was done with it, I remember opening my guitar case and putting my guitar in there, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. My heart was really running away. This was when I heard the applause, really. I was like happy. I guess I had a runaway heart from being happiness. Cool, but it scared me to death, and I hopped in my van and went to Kaiser. It might have been a panic attack, I guess. It wasn't random fear either, because I said some things in the song that might have been taken differently by a serious manager at the top. I'm an engineer, not a trained singer or an entertainer, so I have this list. My heroes have always been golfers. That's an old Willie Nelson song. My heroes have always been cowboys. The Gambler for Daryl Cousins. He was a friend. He was in my carpool. A gambler shark. My engineering boss moved up to the hill. Time where I had a reputation. People were expecting something out of me, I think. So I actually had 3 songs. Peggy Lee's Manana, without any changes, but my voice, my guitar. So that has to do with putting off things till tomorrow, right? I lead off with a little story. Larry Fromm was a good boss, but the boss said, why don't you get this done? And he kept saying, oh, don't worry, mañana. I did it much more smoothly and more figured out, so it fits. And then you sing it, and it's kind of a funny song all the way through anyway, as delivered by Peggy Lee. And then Rubber Ducky, I just want to make fun of him. He likes to take a bath and play with a rubber ducky. And then to sing the song makes it even funnier, makes it acceptable. So these are celebration songs, honoring people, even though they are making fun of people or different departments. But that's the thing, they're parody. It's like a roast. Everybody knows it's supposed to be a little bit out there, and they appreciate it on that level. Let It Be Me, Everly Brothers. The new job was going to be up on the hill for him with corporate, and Dick Moss was the quality boss up there. So I set up a story, it's all pretend, right, where he's desperate to have Larry Fromm come work for him to fill it in. But that's on this tape too, that's a good song. I have Fresno, to the tune of New York. Somebody was leaving and going to go move to Fresno. Yoko Giddings was a technician in the quality department. She had been working for the quality department probably at least 20 years. She was really honored by a luncheon. I think it was in the cafeteria. After people gave speeches, her husband was there. It was kind of a big deal. They expected me, or I volunteered, I can't remember, and I wound up doing basically a concert, 5 or 6 songs. And those all got a good reception, and they're pretty good songs, I thought. Remember the song Bad Bad Leroy Brown? We had a tough guy, Dennis Kloss, in the quality department. He liked to have that as a persona. Defense is for getting things to move forward. His persona was a bad Leroy Brown. So I wrote a song, Bad DK Kloss. He was the boss of Yoko Giddings, so that was one of the songs. Came out really good. Upstairs, there's a lady, Iman Teng, Chinese origin. She was the one who was going to argue with Big Bad DK Kloss. So that comes out in the song. People really like some of these. One of them was I Left My Heart in Palo Alto. One of them was Sukiyaki by Kyu Sakamoto. The only song I know on the hit parade that was sung entirely in Japanese. Kind of appropriate. Yoko was from Japan, and that used my custom wording quite a lot because I didn't know any Japanese words. So yeah, what am I trying to do? I'm shy. I wish I wasn't. It was in business. It's good to be this outgoing kind of person. It's also good to have a good mix of introverts and serious scientists. That's more like me. I'm more like the serious scientist writing down data and finding out the average and the standard deviation and quality control charts. I think that's the kind of person I am, but I wanted to learn how to speak in public. And that's why I gave that poem about Ode to Carl, because I didn't think I could stand up in front of people, and I did. It was kind of awful in a way. I mean, my voice was shaking at times, and it felt small in the room. But I knew I had to project it out because it was a big room with a lot of people and some noise. The last one that I remember doing was for Ginger Ricka. 2 really good songs. My favorite was the big one, and they liked it. They loved it. I'm in no mood for work. And it's amazing. It cheers everybody up, They're not forcing conversation, something refreshing and new. They've never heard it. These are all songs they've never heard. You know, melodies will be familiar. That works a lot. But bringing in people's names, that's the secret, you know. Bringing in their names, the situation, being a little more out there in terms of like pretending there's anger, there's a reason for the leaving and stuff. Sometimes there is, right? There's dual meanings here. It's always in jest and always in a good spirit, and they all took it that generally. One of the problems is a lot of people I sang for will never see this recording. Some have passed away. I'm more doing this for me to dot my I's and cross my T's and show my kids some of the goofy things I've done in my lifetime. I might as well also share this with anybody who wants to see it, especially HP people or any of these people that I tried to make a tribute to. It's a big deal for the person retiring, right? One way or another, and that's why we come there. But what kind of gift can I give somebody I worked with for years? A bouquet of flowers, a box of candy. I guess my presence at the luncheon is it. Everybody does that, that's fine. But I thought, you know, an original song is a gift, it's very much a surprise. After I got a reputation, maybe that's not true, but a little bit of a surprise. The words are always a surprise, they never know where it's going. It shows a caring, and it's kind of fitting, and it kind of worked. I'm a sort of a comedian at heart. I loved Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy and Red Skelton and all modern ones, Laugh-In and Steve Martin and Seinfeld. I love humor. Okay, and I'm a songwriter. Well, I used to write songs of my own, original songs. I still have probably 60 over the years. The reason why I had that in with the AR people in Nashville, New York, and Los Angeles was because I belong to the Northern California Songwriters Association. 15, almost 20 years. Some of these songs on this list, even if they're parodies, I think they're good songs. Good poetry, they rhyme. So some of these songs I like, I think they're great songs. I plan to have a lot of the recordings, and I made a video for each one. So a lot of the videos from photos collected over the years from HP, a picture of me playing guitar or something like that. Some of the arrangements I think are fun, and you will find the production value good and interesting. The main point is really the audio, the recording. But some of the videos are quite involved, moments to remember. I'm pretty proud of a very good video. We spell it SCO. There's a few. I think you'll know which ones. There's old recordings there. Some of them are new recordings. Maybe in my notes I'll put what I consider the oldest, most authentic of my young voice and my young lack of training and singing probably. So, you know, I want that. This is historical, and that's what I'm trying to do. And another thing that might surprise you is all the history that you will learn. If you worked in my division, you will recognize a lot of the names. You'll recognize some of the projects I might bring out, or a boss or two. Bad Leroy Brown. Listen for that. I like that. I think that's a great one. My Old 35 is also very good, I think. So I hope you have the patience to listen to a few of the songs. That would be nice. My daughters think nobody's going to listen to it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, I forgot to comb my hair. Okay. Hey, I want to say something. This is called Ode to Carl. Come gather around, people, and you shall hear a story about a brave engineer. He came down to help a couple of fellers making high voltage couplers down in the cellar. He reviewed the lamp line with all kinds of zest, then went overseas to train all the rest. Back down to the dungeon Carl did go. The yield on hermetics was approaching 0. And Dan came to him, said, "What shall we do?" how do we make profit in this kind of zoo? And Carl sat back and lit up his pipe and nodded his head. He was very polite. Carl didn't want to make too much of a flap, but he decided to cancel the afternoon nap. And when problems remained despite all the work, he gloried in driving his people berserk. To shorten this tale, all that's left now to say, he wrote out procedures in logs every day. But lamps required still more attention, and Jack and Marge rescued the hermetic invention. And Dan came to him, said, "What shall we do? How do we make dough in this kind of zoo?" And Carl stood up with a determined look and started to read from his latest joke book. Meanwhile, the lamps began to have color. Next to the new ones, the old ones looked duller. And John got some help from Larry and Ted. Then some problems got worse, and some put to bed. With sales of our couplers greater and greater, less came to shape up the fast isolator. The empire grew so fast and so busy that part numbers tracking made Romeo dizzy. And Dan came to Carl, said, "What shall we do? How do we make dollars in this kind of zoo?" Said Carl, "I got a fantastic idea. Let's go to the Old Pro and have us a beer." To help with our molding came Steve from Fairchild. He worked on high voltage without getting riled. Kent came on strong with the colored rectangles, fixing lead frame quality with ideas newfangled. To save the polylit came Carol and Jones. That things would improve was felt in our bones, but new products developed too slow and expensive, and K-Factor Daddy was not that extensive. And Dan ran to Carl, said, "What shall we do? How do we make zillions in this kind of zoo?" And Carl replied to Dan's growing chagrin, "Let's go shoot some pool and play till I win." Ms. Jones said goodbye, and Doug said hello, and Les thought he'd give a new job a go. So Bill took his desk with slow walk and fast wit, and Steve from Lightronics helped Jack Hines a bit. And typing so fast was Jan, it's no joke. Her IBM typewriter started to smoke. Well, Mary Lou, Tia, and Linda kept humming, but problems, alas, kept on coming and coming. And Dan came to Carl, said, "What shall we do? How do we make money in this kind of zoo?" Said Carl, "I'm finished with pulling my hairs. I'm leaving the circus and moving upstairs." Thank you. Everybody did laugh. The whole room like exploded with laughter and applause, kind of long lasting for this kind of thing.